There we go. All right. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? Hope all's well. Hope you had a good weekend. I'm sorry if you're a 49er fan and you really thought your Niners were going to walk away with that victory yesterday. Certainly looked that way, didn't it? Oh, what a comeback by the Rams, baby. Matthew Stafford getting it done. Missing pieces all over that offense. They still found a way to get that dub. Shout out to Tutu Atwell. That a boy. Williams, rush attack, fantastic. Fantastic. Maybe you guys had if you follow, for any of you who watch the NFL, if you got a team, maybe your team had a good weekend. But I know if you're a Niners fan, you did not. You're going to lose sleep over that one. That was great. Skills 404 says almost the entire NFL looks bad this year. Nobody looks as strong as we thought they would be. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's still early, right? 17 games, got a ways to go. All right. We are going to talk. You can see it here on the screen. We got a lot. We're going to talk about Dubinion. We've got Edge NIL update there. We're going to talk a little TJ Metcalf. One of my favorite things to discuss is his game so far this year. Pretty good. He got a little love this week. And then, of course, we're going to talk about this Arkansas-Auburn game and just maybe some things that need to happen with this offense. And I was thinking about what all was going on Saturday night into Sunday, just something that really crossed my mind. And typically if I dive hard enough into that thought, if I give it some real good thought, if I sit down, kind of look at what I need to look at, whether it's deeper analytics, stats, and then just what you watch with your eyeballs, there's something that's kind of stands out, right? And it's nothing surprising. It's nothing surprising. We're going to talk about what I believe maybe they might do, and certainly something I think they should consider doing moving forward. Okay. Make sure, again, like, share, subscribe. We've got a poll up. Do you trust Green to be throwing the ball 30-plus times a game right now? I typed that out really fast. That poll just sucks. That does not. When I say it out loud, it's even worse. Do you trust Green? Really what I meant to say is, do you trust Green throwing the ball 30 times a game? 76% of you say no right now. So if you're just joining, make sure you check out that poll. Take it. Dance around it. Whatever. Feel free to tell me what you think. Even after the video, if you're not here live, if you're unable to make the live show, let me know down below in the comment section what you think. Do you trust Green to throw the ball 30 times or more a game? So we'll get into that a little bit. We're going to start off with Dubinion. Sam Pittman said today, Dubinion is suspended indefinitely for violating team rules. So, I don't know anything about this. I have no idea what exactly he did. But we know this much. He's not gotten a whole lot of attention this year. In fact, I think his only snaps, I know his only carries on the year came against UAPB, where he had 3 carries for 15 yards. Or at least that's what ESPN says. I do not recall him even playing in that game. But ESPN says he played, and I was thinking he hadn't had a carry all year, but he does have 3, again, according to ESPN, for 15 yards. Back in 23, if you guys recall, we knew there was something up. We knew, listen, 2023, nobody was going to have success. Nobody was going to have success. Rocket was already probably a little bit heavier than most people thought he should be. He didn't look as fast. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the offensive line was atrocious. The offense was atrocious. Nobody was going to have success behind that offensive line. And he carried the ball last year, Dubinion did, 82 times for 260 yards, 3.2 yards a carry. Where he stands out, like it feels like this happened last year and not 2 years ago, but back in 2022, Dubinion had 71 carries for close to 300 yards, averaging over 4 yards a carry and 5 touchdowns. Like, didn't see the field a ton. What's 71 divided by 12? So he didn't see the field a ton, and he still accumulated close to 300 yards on the ground and 5 scores, 5 touchdowns. We thought, this dude is the future. He might very well be the next big thing at Arkansas. Of course, you've had several running backs you've thought that about over the course of the last several seasons. You can go all the way back to Rakeem Boyd. Remember that? Oh, my Lord. We thought Rakeem Boyd was going to light the world on fire, and he failed to do so. Of course, other things happened off the field and so on and so forth, yada, yada, yada. I get it. It's frustrating. I really thought that guy was going to kill it. Like, he's the one guy when he was here, when he came back. Of course, he was on Last Chance U. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. He was on Last Chance U. Arkansas is getting a little bit of publicity here, right? And you're thinking, this dude, this feels like a Hollywood story being written. And then it all kind of falls apart. I don't know. They've had some rough luck with with some of these guys. But Dubinion suspended again for violating team rules. Good evening, Unbiased Brim. How are you, my friend? Philip White, how are you? I got this week more DMs in Discord, Facebook, and Twitter. I did not get back with everybody. A number of you kind of saying the same thing that I said after the Auburn game. Like, yeah, great, Arkansas won. We're thrilled about that. They're 1-0 in conference play, but it feels something still just doesn't feel right. And I had a number of you confirming that in the Tusk Talk Discord DMs and on Facebook. So again, we'll get to that in a minute. Make sure you guys check out Patreon. It'll help your boy out a ton. Tusk Talk Patreon. I mean, it's minimum $4 a month. I super chats are awesome. All right, I super chats are great. But if you really want to go, the country mile, as we say down here, you can sign up for Tusk Talk Patreon. You have the $4 package, the $8 package, and the $20 package. The $20, which is legendary status, you get a shot at an autographed card from a former Arkansas player, whether it be basketball, baseball. Well, yeah, we've had a few baseball cards come around, and then, of course, football. So football, basketball, and baseball. We've had some other cool just OG cards come through as well. So do consider that. All right. So we got that out of the way. Dubinion suspended. What kind of impact will that have on the ground game? This is what I will tell you. It just feels like you're guaranteeing Russell to get more carries. Russell and Hill are taking Dubinion would be in that mix. I know there was a leg issue with him. He was dealing with something with his leg. Or knee or something. But it wasn't anything super serious. At least we didn't think so. And then it comes out today that he's indefinitely suspended. So I hate to say this, but now he's over here, right? Now you got these other two guys you want to see more of. I do want to see more of Hill. I know everyone's really excited about Russell. Hill could complement this offense in so many different ways. And this was a discussion we were having today in Tusk Talk Patreon Discord chat. Why, Russell's going to get more carries. And he will. He's, Sam talked about that. He's earned that right. He's looking faster and faster. But Hill complements. He's a change of pace. He's a cop running back. He's a COPB, change of pace back. That's what he is. That sounds even better. He's a COPB, baby. You know me, COPB. He's a change of pace back. He's smaller, lighter, quicker on his feet. I don't know, man. Quinton Jackson right now looks pretty swift. It looks pretty fast to me, but yeah, we know Hill's probably going to have a step on him, right? And he's shiftier. So yeah. Tie, Edge, NIL, none. Well, what? What do you mean? Did I mess up something on my? What are you talking about, Brim? Complete sentences. What are you talking about? So, yeah, I think you're going to see more. I'd like to see more of Hill. I really would. And I'd like to see some other things happen with this offense. But that's what this is going to do. It's going to free up more opportunities, right? July with a $10 super chat. To be honest, I think some of the issue might be a practice thing. These guys go out and be practice warriors. TG trusts them. Game time comes and these guys can't open, catch, and it kills his decisions. I've been saying all along, especially since, well, I say all along, since it stood out, right? Didn't see this in camp. We didn't see this in camp. But that's a part of it. There's going to be a lot of things that we see good happen in camp that doesn't translate onto the field. That's normal. It happens every year. I'm going to tell you right now, Broden would be the second leading receiver in this offense. How often he's been targeted? How often he's been targeted? Tell me I'm wrong. He's been targeted more than Centennia. He's just got a horrible catch rate right now. His catching is terrible. He's not catching the ball. I don't know what it is. He's when you show it in practice, it means you're capable. Doing it on the field is something else entirely. But yeah, I've said for a while that there's got to be something that they're just not catching on film. I don't know. That's hard to believe with Bobby Petrino's offensive coordinator. Or Green is just unwilling to throw these underneath routes. He should be targeting Centennial more. These guys should be getting open more often. And the other thing that we talked about, and I've said this for the last couple of weeks, it's a group effort or lack thereof. It's not just Green. It's guys dropping balls. It's offensive line not pass blocking, linebackers coming in untouched, guys not getting chipped, coming off the edge, center. And we're going to get into all this. It's going to be towards the end, but we're going to get into all this. The snaps are not there. Like, there's so many hiccups. So yeah, I don't disagree, July. I mean, there's a lot. Wait, those comments were two different topics. The Patreon is Tusk Talk. What are y'all talking about? Rashod Dubinion, Edge NIL news. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm looking at my screen. It makes sense to me. Morning after show. Rashod Dubinion suspended. Edge NIL news. TJ Metcalf, Arkansas. I mean, it's all right there. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I have no clue. Someone's gonna have to tell me in Discord. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. So there's a lot of different things here with the offense that we're gonna go over, that we're gonna discuss, that we're gonna talk about. See, this is why some content creators don't read their chat. This is why some live content creators don't read their chat, because you start reading it, and then the chat starts, oh, you're blah, blah, whatever, this over here, and you're like, wait, what? You completely throws you off. Comment away. I just have no idea what the hell y'all are talking about. Anyways, that's that. That's that, as they say. How about Edge? Did you guys see this with Edge? I don't know if anyone – I had a poll up, and then I realized my autocorrect kicked my ass on the post, so I just deleted it. But I did have a poll, and that was going to be the other option, the other poll I was going to do in here. But I figured the Green throwing the ball 30-plus times was a better thing to do. Edge now has a $10 offer, and this was interesting. Edge, Hogs win, you win. The next 100 new members to sign up. So this is probably gone. To sign up for a membership at any level will receive a free autograph photo from our win over Auburn. And it shows Danico Slaughter and TJ Metcalf. I don't have it on the screen, but just take my word for it. I wonder, so did they – the next 100 members to sign up for at any level will receive – oh, so anybody. So any of the next 100. So they had Danico Slaughter and TJ Metcalf autograph 100 cards, which, by the way, ain't shit. That's nothing. That's nothing. You ought to hear those guys that go to the Comic-Cons. They'll have over 100 signatures if they're a big enough name in like 20 minutes. So they do offer the new $10 a month. That's Edge. That's the new thing, $10 a month. I think it is. I am curious, and maybe we'll retry that poll tomorrow. I don't know, but I am curious to see if any of you guys, if that sways you at all, if that's something you're interested in. The new Edge membership level. First off, I don't know what else this offers. It may be nothing. I don't know. Actually, I had the site up earlier, and for whatever reason, let me pull it up here. I'm not going to share my screen because I've got sensitive material on my screen right now, but stuff that could also get me a copyright strike. Let me pull this up. Let me take a look. And by the way, their Twitter on the Edge, on Arkansas Edge, has a link tree instead of just a link straight to their website, which drives me crazy. We just want to go to your site, man. You could become a member here. That's what the website's for. You should be able to do everything. You want everything to go through your website, not through a link tree. A link tree is meant for someone like me, a content creator who wants you to go to all these different places and subscribe to my Twitter, to my Facebook, if I had a Twitch, YouTube. For something like this, you just need a straight hallway right to your site. Everything needs to be there. Everything needs to be able to, you need to be able to navigate easily. Keep it simple, stupid. All right. Let's see. It's not on there. Okay, there it is. So they do have, you get a quarterly newsletter, invitations to watch parties and tailgates, invitations, okay. And then you get your digital membership card. And, of course, it goes towards helping the student athletes. I think this is a good move. I kind of believe if you're at 10, I would have rounded that up to like $12 a month. That's still less than half of the next jump, which is $25 a month. Wait. Did they change something on the 25? Support? No, I guess not. Okay. No, it looks like it's still the same. In fact, it looks like they may have taken something off. Anyways, maybe not. So you got the 10, the 25, the 50, the $100 silver pass, and then the gold pass for $250 a month. And here's the thing, I wonder, all the items that you get for the $250 a month is actually kind of cool. You get a exclusive hoodie, a t-shirt, a koozie, some stickers, a hat. Probably should throw in like 2 hats, but whatever. That's actually not a bad deal. Plus you get the Hogs Plus. I'm pretty sure if they're going to offer that in the 25, then why wouldn't they offer that in the 250? They also offer the Hogs Plus in the $50. Yeah, there it is. My bad. The screen cut off. Hogs Plus subscription. Yeah, I really believe I hope they have that spaced out right. I hope, and I'm sure this is how it is. If you sign up for the $250 a month for Edge, you get one thing at a time. Hopefully they don't ship you like one of those, what do they call those? I've done one before. It's like a mystery box. You guys remember those? They were popular like 5 or 6 years ago, especially if you were a nerd or a gamer. They would send you, because I'm real big into Mass Effect, and IGN.com had a promotion for Mass Effect Andromeda. I got the box, paid, I don't remember, it wasn't that much. I got all these just like random knickknacks and whatever. I think I got a tiny little Matchbox like model of the ship from the game and everything. It's pretty cool. I hope they're not doing that, because if they're doing it right, they're shipping you these things one thing at a time per month. So that way they get a little bit more out of you, and it's not like where they just send you everything at once. Here's the hat, right? You ship the hat first, and then the next month, I don't know. Then again, if you're promising that for $250, I don't know if maybe you got to read the fine print, maybe. Arkansas Edge membership does not generally qualify as a tax-deductible contribution due to benefits received. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Please consult your tax advisor. So get a hold of your CPA. There you have it. New tier, $10 a month. Are you guys at all curious about it? Would you do it? Best thing I've seen post game, 71% of the planet is covered by water. The rest is covered by TJ Metcalf. He's a stud, man. I'm so happy for that dude. That's awesome. So happy for him. What a game. So, perfect segue into Mr. SEC Defensive Player of the Week. He got the gold chain. That's right. He was a gold chain recipient on the post-game show right here on Tusk Talk with Ty. The best post-game show, period. Just what the doctor ordered. Let him play. Let him play. He was out of his mind. Targeted 3 times. He gave up nothing. Nothing. The interceptions, the pass breakups, 4 or 5 tackles, forced fumble. What a game by him. He graded out, and I don't have it blown up on my screen. The font is really small, but I think it's 89.8, which was top 3 in the country, according to PFF. He was lights out, man. And if you think about it, yeah, they still gave up some chunk yards, especially on that final Auburn drive where I think they went like, what did they do, 70 yards or something? Like they were able to get some chunk yardage and had that busted play earlier in the game. Still held these guys to 14 points. It's kind of funny reading some of the comments. Someone wrote on my postgame show that the defense was trash. And I'm like, yeah, you get 4 takeaways and allow just 14 points, but that's trash. Well, that's Auburn beating themselves. Okay, well, you could say the same thing about Arkansas and Oklahoma State. They did beat themselves, but a lot of that was self-inflicted with fumbles, miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back, where Jaquindon drops the ball or he doesn't hold on to the ball and he fumbles it, like just silly little things, right? Auburn, I think the coverage was just that good, and they were prepared. They were prepared for old Hank. Where's that trash talk? There it is. There it is. Oh, Hank. Oh, buddy. I love it. I just love it. I love it when they talk crap. They talk that shit and they don't back it up. In fact, you just get destroyed. Oh. I don't know. Something tells me TJ Metcalf took that personally. Man, oh man. Got to be able to back it up, son. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Hey, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Shout out to the Tusk Talk sponsors. Direct service overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes. 501-244-3667. They operate in Central Arkansas, most of it, and then Northwest Arkansas. Check out their link provided for you down below. Better than best results. Insurance Max, covering the state, corner to corner. The entire state of Arkansas. Offering business, personal, life, and health insurance. Retirement. They shop the best rates for you. Why not see what they can do for you? Their link is also provided for you down below. There was some other stuff I was going to cover in this show that ended up getting axed because, it's just kind of, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. TJ Metcalf, going back to him really quick. They had him line up. Of course, he was at free safety 36 snaps. He was in the slot 7 times. I went back and rewatched what I could. It's been a crazy weekend, y'all. We had one of our pipes. We don't know what happened. We woke up to water in the studio room, in the living room, in the dry storage of our kitchen, our bathroom. It's been kind of wild this weekend, but I was able to kind of go back and watch some of the highlights, and I watched him, and he does stand out. He only targeted 3 times. He gave up nothing. But that secondary, for the most part, played really well. Really, really well. Slaughter had a hell of a game. He graded out pretty nicely, too, in some areas. Let's read some chats. The 25 and 50, you just get a discount on Hogs Plus, but silver and gold is free. Oh. Wait, really? Wait. Say that again? The $25 and $50, you just get a discount on Hogs Plus. What? Oh, you don't get it for free? Support. Oh, come on now. Really? Because it doesn't say that. It says exclusive apparel and swag giveaways, quarterly newsletter, invitations to watch parties and tailgate, and then it has a link to Hogs Plus. I mean, you assume that that's a part of the deal. Oh, come on now. Not just a discount. Oh. Well, I don't know. I'm afraid to click on it, Megan. Scroll up here. I'm having a founder's breakfast stout. You can't handle the truth says they generate more money just adding a ticket tax. It's harder to do that when you're at a program that's not winning a lot of games. I mean, let's just be real. Now, if Arkansas does something crazy this year and they go like 10-2, which would be insane. No, I'm not suggesting that's going to happen. But if that were the case, then they could talk about adding a talent tax. I think whatever Tennessee calls it next year. But you'd have to have reasons to buy in next year, right? There'd have to be some kind of excitement. Just winning 10 games this year. I mean, you'd have to have a lot of that, which was successful from this year, come back next year, right? Arky56 says tight end has been non-existent. Jerron Green says, Ty, it feels like talent can run and get a first down anytime he rolls out. Do you think he should even run? Do you think he should run more, even more? Yeah, it's all coming, baby. Appreciate the $10 super chat, July. Thank you. Again, make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Hit the sub button. Do it. Robert Schumacher says, would kneel. Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Robert Schumacher says, I feel like this last game was more on the coaches for the lack of scoring. I don't understand why you have 28 seconds left on the clock with 3 timeouts and you're only up 1 touchdown. Why you kneel? Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing too. They had 2 sacks against Auburn. Appreciate the retweets, boys. I see you. July, Phillip, thank you. Austin. Boy, oh boy. So, do we want to get into it? I don't know what it is, man. It's like my right part of like right there, almost in the center of my back. It feels like a knife just going into my back, and it hurts like hell. It might be because I'm not leaning back into my chair. I don't know. Arkansas and Auburn. See, we're only at 30 minutes, and this is kind of where we're headed. And I think we can go in all sorts of different ways because we're going to talk about Arkansas and Auburn, the good and the bad. We're going to start off with the bad, then we're going to go into the good, then we're going to talk about what I think would be interesting to see and maybe for the best. Ty, how big of a fan No, wait, I read that wrong. Ty, how big of an advantage do you think it is that Bobby was at A&M last year? Obviously, the scheme will be much different, but he will know most of the personnel. Knowing personnel, I mean, that is great. Don't get me wrong, but when you're in a different scheme, maybe like quarterback tendencies, receiver tendencies, you maybe, right? But obviously Bobby coaches on the offense, so you're going to be looking at the tendencies on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, there might be some advantage there. I don't know how much different they are compared to a year ago on defense, but Bobby and the defensive coordinator at A&M, were they not on the same staff somewhere? Why am I remembering that? Hang on. I haven't started my Texas A&M dig yet. We got if you go to Patreon or Discord, if you go to Discord and you go to the Enemy Insider, we do have the side-by-side kind of the stat comparisons and whatnot. Texas A&M, I know who their defense coordinator is. I'm just brain farting hardcore right now. Jay Bateman. Yeah. Okay. I swear they were on staff together somewhere. I'm probably having a no shit Sherlock moment here. Maybe I'm getting him mixed up with somebody. Yeah, because he coached the linebackers in 22-23, Carolina 2019-2021. I might be thinking of someone else. But anyways, long story short, personnel does matter. And I maybe there's something to be made there. I haven't, like I said, I haven't done my A&M dive yet. I'm going to be real with you. I've watched very little of A&M this year. I haven't had a chance to watch much of them. I like the hire for them with Elko. I do like that hire, but I think it might be a thing where it takes a couple of years. They're doing some things. They're doing some okay things on defense, as far as I could tell. But I think it's a situation where it's going to take a couple of years. All right, let's get into the bad first. Let's get in. So we've already kind of talked about TJ Metcalf, which would be a part of the good. But now let's just dive right into this Arkansas-Auburn game and peel some things apart here really quick. I'm not going to go over every single detail. We tend to not do that, but we do kind of revisit some of this stuff. And again, make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, share the link to some boys in a group chat. Hey, come in here. This guy's awesome. He's fat and hairy, and he screams into his microphone, but he has a couple of good points. Please feel free to share anywhere on social media, whatever. All right, starting with the bad, 44 total plays for just 7 points and a turnover in the first half. Not completely unheard of, but when you consider what you were doing, especially through the first 6 quarters of the season, 44 total plays for just 7 points. Auburn's defense is not that good. Auburn is not a very good football team. I would say that win, it was a quality win because you walked into a hostile place to play. It's an SEC environment with a bunch of crazy fans. They're not A&M by any stretch of the imagination. That's not Death Valley. You're not walking into LSU, but that's still a tough. I would say that's probably one of the top 5 places to go and play as far as difficulty. They've won games there, and I've heard former players say, yeah, we leaned on the crowd heavily. So it's not completely wild that this happened, but 44 total plays and just 7 points. And again, the turnover, not a great way to start. He started before the ball even snapped. To start the game, you had a penalty. That's never good. Something that I noted, or something that happened, under a minute to play in the first half, Arkansas picks off Brown, giving Arkansas the football on the 27-yard line. Green throws a pick on the first play. Like, there was these situations where it felt like Arkansas could maybe take advantage, and then they would give up the ball, and it was a little I'm not really sure. It was just the offense doing what they've done for the last 2-3 weeks. They just kind of find a way. They trip over their own shoelaces. 10 points off total of 4 turnovers. 10 points off 4 turnovers. They scored on, I think it was 50% of those turnovers. On the road, you want that. You'd love for that to be like 3 out of 4, and they need to all be touchdowns, not a touchdown and a field goal. Green's ball placement, and I saw Clint Sterner went on some rant today on Twitter, and I like Clint. He's a former quarterback. The guy was great here. Obviously got a shot in the NFL. You got to be at least halfway decent to at least get a shot. There's some guys that are just blatantly overrated, and then there's just guys, like Clint that are just, he was a pretty good athlete, and I thought he had a pretty high IQ for a quarterback. Looking back on it, he's a capable quarterback. When he speaks, I listen when he talks about quarterbacks. We may have to pull up his tweet here in a minute, but I will say Green's ball placement, I disagree with him. I thought his ball placement, not great. He doesn't throw to checkdowns very often, and when he does, he's pretty inaccurate. So he's not throwing. He didn't throw to his check down and underneath targets that often. Completed just 43% of his throws, and turnovers continue to hinder this offense. They just continue to hinder this offense. Now they didn't turn the ball over like Auburn did. Again, a lot of the Auburn rhetoric today sounds like Arkansas after the Oklahoma State game. Well, we lost that game ourselves. No, the difference between Arkansas and Oklahoma State was that Arkansas was pummeling Oklahoma State. And then self-inflicted wounds, again, the fumbles, the silliness. And, yeah, there were some plays that Oklahoma State made on defense that turned the tide. I said, even in the postgame, if I remember right, I said something to the effect of Oklahoma State made some adjustments. They made better adjustments in the second half than Arkansas did. This was not that. Auburn they're not a better team than Arkansas. They might have a couple more stars here and there, but they're not a better product than Arkansas, even though Arkansas has all these warts and bruises and all these problems. In both sides of the ball, by the way, it's not just the offense. The secondary still has some things to consider. Like there are several passing plays for Auburn way too easy. And when you start playing these teams that have talent in the right places at the right time, that are way better coached than Freeze at Auburn. God, they just look – that was bad. I don't know, man. Auburn may not be going bowling this year, but which isn't surprising given what's been going on there lately. Yeah, so Arkansas kind of benefited from Auburn's mistakes, sure. A couple times those throws, but you had the tip ball, which I think was TJ Metcalf's tip. But being at the right place at the right time, it goes to that saying, luck favors the prepared. And I think that was certainly a part of it. It was guys being at the right place at the right time for the Arkansas Razorbacks in the secondary, and they took advantage. That's good stuff, right? Auburn did shoot themselves in the foot, and they did stumble over themselves, but at no point did you think that they were like a far better team. I didn't. For me, it was like, why I picked Arkansas to lose was because I thought this would be a game that went down to to a field goal or to a 2-point, 1-point scenario, and Auburn would find a way to win. And I'm glad I was wrong. So again, the bad, there's more. There's so much more we could pick apart, but again, just the 10 points off the 4 turnovers, 50% off field goals. You're 1 for 2. Green, I just thought he just doesn't look well polished, and that wasn't just one half, that was 2 halves. The good is where I think it gets a little interesting, because it's stuff like this that makes me think they can overcome a lot of the bad stuff. You're never going to completely – I mean, this team is very much well, I should say on the offense at least, It's a year one Bobby Petrino coached offense. You go back to his first year at Arkansas. Guys, I mean, there were games you thought Arkansas was going to lose to some pretty bad teams his first year. They found a way to win those games. But that's kind of what this reminds me of. A lot of hiccups, a lot of issues. And that's what was going on his first year. The offense was not well polished. However, third down, Green on third down has been – I don't know exactly what his numbers are on the year on third down. In this game alone, listen to this. 3rd down and 10 on the Arkansas 25. Taylon Green runs for 22 yards, gets the first down to the Arkansas 47. That was 14-13 in the first. At the 3:59 mark in the third quarter, Taylon Green pass complete to Andrew Armstrong for 18 yards down to the Arkansas 40 for a first down. Another third and long. That's three. This is three straight third and longs. Taylon Green runs for 11 yards to the Auburn 49 for a first down. 3rd and 19 at the Arkansas 42. 2:03 left to go in the third quarter. Taylon Green completes to Isaiah Centania for the 58-yard touchdown. And then 3rd and 4 on the Arkansas 46. Taylon Green runs for 6 yards to the Auburn 48 for a first down. That's a 3rd and short scenario. And this isn't the only game where he's done this. I'm in a Marco Polo with a friend of mine. He's just clearly not on the Green bandwagon at all, and I don't blame him. I mean, Green, we've talked about Green's his ball placement, accuracy issues, all this stuff. He hinders his own success. He trips over his own shoelaces often. But then you also have to credit the good. On 3rd and long, on 3rd and medium, 3rd and short, you feel pretty damn good with the ball in his hands for the most part. I hope I didn't just jinx him, but he has been pretty fantastic on 3rd down. And that is very good. Also, Arkansas dominated the time of possession, 36 minutes to Auburn's 23 minutes. That's a pretty decent gap. Hogs secondary, despite missing stud corner Braxton and veteran safety Clark with 6 pass breakups and 4 picks, mostly contained Auburn. They did throw for a decent amount of yards, but it's not like they lit the world on fire. Contained Auburn's stud running back in Jaquez Hunter, holding him to just 67 total yards of offense. Not letting the crowd affect them really at all. I didn't think the crowd had that big of an impact. Limited flags, 4 for just 20 yards. Let me scroll up here. I don't trust Green. I really don't believe the coaches either, says Boss Hog. On 3rd down, I do, Boss Hog. I mean, this isn't the first time I've looked this up and seen where Green is doing well on 3rd down. On 3rd down, I do. On 3rd down, I trust him. That's not to say that he's not going to turn the ball over one of these days on a 3rd down if he hasn't already. I'm sure he has. Doesn't mean that he's going to be mistake-free. But what I just read you is a big part of the reason why you just got your first conference win of the season. Jaquindon Jackson was not as big of a threat. The run game was not as big of a threat if it wasn't Green running the football. That's Green. Doesn't necessarily mean just passing the ball. It means finding a way to continue a drive, to keep the drive going. Green does do that. And we're going to get to what I think should change here in a little bit. I mean, I get it. There's some people that are just so over Green, they want him gone. Malachi's the answer. And I don't know, man. I don't know if it's that. I just don't think that's necessarily the answer yet. We need to see. I do have issues with his passing game, and I've been pretty vocal about it. TG is Mr. 3rd and long, says Unbiased Brim. He is. 3rd and long, it's like no problem. I mean, it's felt that way. Now, I want to see him do it against a higher quality opponent. That's going to be the question, and I agree with that 110%. But so far, he's given me very, very few reasons to not trust him on 3rd down. If you want to talk about just the passing game, oh, Lord. Son, we'll have a lot to talk about for sure. Ty says Pigpen. Ty, I do ponder. Do you now? I do ponder how we have 2 offensive line coaches and the offensive line doesn't know how to pick up a blitz. That's high school knowledge, bro. Well, okay, sure. I mean, you're not wrong, but executing at this level of football, that's a little different. You can't really compare. I mean, I hear what you're saying. There's stuff that you learn. You know, there's signals. There's things that have to be said. There's got to be a level of communication between the quarterback and his offensive line and the sideline. There's things that you got to pick up on your iPad when you go to the sidelines after you're, you know, if you've whatever's happened, if you scored or if you've punted the ball, whatever. When you're on the sidelines, there's things you need to be communicating each other about. Bot Magnet says his legs are something else. He's the closest thing you've had to Matt Jones since you've had Matt Jones. And I don't say that lightly. Matt Jones is my all-time favorite Razorback, period. That's more than Corliss, and Corliss won a natty. It's more than Scotty. Scotty won a natty. You know, that's more than, I don't know. I have him. It's like Matt Jones is 1A, Darren McFadden's like 1B. You know, Darren, to be fair, was surrounded with some good talent, but Darren made everything work. Matt did the same, and I think he did it with less. And he wasn't a passer. He wasn't. He was not a passer. But what did they do with Matt that made it work? That's what we're going to talk about. I thought Singleton was the answer, but I don't anymore. TG is getting better every week. I trust Bobby to get him right. That's the thing that we do need to understand. That's the thing that we do need to understand. His first time at Arkansas, the offense typically got better as it went along. It's not rocket science. Like, I can remember thinking that at the time. It doesn't mean they didn't have hiccups along the way, or maybe they faced a really good defense like an Alabama or someone and they got stuffed, or LSU. But their offense, you could tell, we always use that word product, but you could tell as it went along it got better. It's a learn on the job kind of offense. Let's be real. It's getting better, you know, in practice. It's communicating. It's talking in the film room. It's paying attention to the minute details that Petrino has that reputation for. And you pick it up the more opponents you see. And I think the X factor there is Bobby Petrino. And then the players listening, understanding, and then putting it to practice, right? Putting it into your game plan and understanding exactly what maybe went wrong or right on whatever particular play you watched in film. You know, we saw that his first time around. And I'm not suggesting it could get worse. The first 6 quarters of offense this year were incredible. Since then, it's not been great, right? It's actually been the opposite. They're getting worse. They got outgained on offense against Auburn. That's a bad, for sure. I want to be clear about Malachi. This is not a Criswell KJ scenario. I'm going to have to dial back. I don't think there's any threat that Green's going to be benched. And I don't even know that that's the answer yet. I do stand by what I said. If he continues in a Bobby Petrino offense to put up these atrocious numbers that he's putting up when you look at his PFF, when not looking at, I'm not talking grades, I'm talking about the actual, you know, the clean pocket percentage, guys, it's bad. His clean pocket passing percentage or completion percentage is terrible. His under pressure percentage is terrible. If these don't pick up and he starts turning the ball over 2-3 times a game, whether it's fumbling, throwing picks, he's not getting it done in the passing game, eventually we are going to have the conversation that he's about to get. He should probably be benched if these things don't improve. I don't think that's this week. Hell, he could have an atrocious game this weekend. I mean, I guess it depends on how atrocious, but he could have a pretty rough game this weekend, and I don't know that we're still talking about a quarterback battle. I just don't think we are, and and I'll tell you why I think that. He is 100% Bobby's guy. He's 100% Bobby's guy. And how do we know that? Well, of course, you know, he wanted to commit to him and everything, and he committed like that. You go back to spring camp, Malachi, I didn't see it. If it happened, it happened when I wasn't looking, or maybe a day that I missed. Malachi never got any reps with the ones. Like, not a continuous drive in reps, whether it be fastball. Now, there might have been some times they were doing one-on-one drills and he got with the ones. I don't know. But for the most part, and I would argue probably 99% of camp, it was TG. It's Taylor Green. And I think, too, Bobby understands this is a 2-year deal. It's going to take time. You know, Ryan Mallett got better as he went, didn't he? Ryan Mallett got better. Compare 2009 and 2010. Now, they were both really good years of offense. I'm not saying they weren't. But the offense certainly got better. They won more games. They found ways, not necessarily just the numbers. I'm not talking about just numbers. They found ways to win games on the offensive side of the ball, despite how, God, that defense was rough. But they found ways to win games on offense. And I think that's why I don't think we've got any kind of a quarterback battle. Man, could you imagine Matt and D-Mac in the same backfield? Oh, Lord. I thought Matt, oh my God, when you watch him play and then you saw him in person, it was like going to the circus for the first time. It was like watching a freak show. Like, God, look at that guy. He's a freak. And you mean that in the best possible way. It was unreal. And you didn't think it because he's so long. Taylon Green is like the same guy. I don't know if he runs a 4.37 at 242 pounds, 6'6", 242, but he's quick, man. And I've seen him in person. I've seen him run in person. He's fast. Once he hits that outside edge, or if he's going to run up the middle and there's nobody there at the second level, I mean, that's an easy 20 yards. That's 15, 20 yards you're about to give up. Malachi, it's not like that. With Malachi, it's not. He can move. Don't get me wrong. He's an athlete, but it's not the same. You're talking about a shorter to the earth running back, kind of like a stout little running back compared to this gazelle. I mean, it's crazy. To see a quarterback move like that again, I didn't think we'd ever see it. I'm very curious if he ever gets invited to the NFL Combine to see his laser 40. I think it's probably like in the 4.4 range, but God, he moves, man. And I love that, but he's got to pick up the passing side of things. Let's talk about what I think needs to happen on offense. And I think, according to this poll, you guys would agree with what I'm about to say. And again, forgive how bad the poll is written out. But do you trust Green to throw the ball 30-plus times a game right now? 75% of you said no. All right. They've got to tighten things up a little bit here. And this is what I would like to see. Green doesn't pass the eyeball test as a pocket passing quarterback for most people I've talked with, whether it be media or fans, because he hasn't shown on a consistent basis that he could step into the pocket and deliver a clean, catchable ball. Again, it goes back to the ball placement issues. He doesn't hit the targets. He doesn't hit his targets in stride, allowing for more yards after catch. His clean pocket completion percentage is 58%. I mean, come on, man. I also agree that the personnel around him isn't helping him either. Pass protection is better compared to a year ago, but still gives up too many pressures. Linebacker blitzes are untouched, and that's what Pigpen pointed out earlier, and he's not entirely wrong. Linebacker blitz is untouched a little too often. Wide receivers are dropping balls. The center can't seem to snap him a better ball. Running backs have also missed blocks. For me, it's just even more evidence that something has to change with this offense. Some things I think might help. Center the offense around Green's strengths. RPO bubble screens, smoke screens, throw the ball to the backs more on short routes, maybe some more will routes, only this time, get the ball to them. Maybe more option attacks with wideouts and pre-snap motion. Get tight ends more involved, damn it. Which means you gotta tell Green in practice to target these guys more often. They can help you out. He's always got his eyes downfield looking for the big gain. Throw it to Luke Has. He can make 5 into 10. He can make 10 into 15, 20. Washington is a hell of an athlete. These tight ends and running backs need more targets. Go a little West Coast offense on them, baby. Do something, because targeting downfield is just resulting in turnovers and terrible completion percentages beyond 11 to 20-plus yards. They're bad. His numbers across the board are horrible. And I realize too that Bobby is probably well aware of all this. I mean, guys, we're talking about the guy, arguably one of the greatest offensive minds. But why not, I don't know, put the playbook that has him just throwing the ball out of the pocket as much as you're having him do that. Maybe put those off to the side. Let's talk about him running some more quick option attacks. Receivers coming over in motion and just complete movement to one side, move the pocket, something, anything. Bobby knows more than all of us here combined, okay? We all know that. And I'm sure he's aware of this. Part of me wonders if it's just not him, stubbornness, wanting him to get better in the pocket. And you do that by doing what? In practice, and you do it by trying it out in the game. You don't know what you don't know until you go out and do it. But I think at this point we've got a pretty good idea. Green just cannot operate in the pocket. He struggles. He can deliver a good ball every once in a while, but it's the consistency that we're talking about. It's the consistency in the pocket. And I feel like too often we're having this conversation. Against Auburn, he threw almost 53% with a clean pocket. 2 interceptions with a clean pocket, according to PFF. Under pressure, that number drops to 22.2 completions. When blitzed, 35% completion. Out of play action, he actually did better against Auburn, 60%. You want to see that. That's great. That's actually a good number, except you only threw it out of play action 5 times. Now, and I kind of understand why they didn't do it more. It's because the run game wasn't super effective, and Auburn was kind of looking for it. But they're a little bit better out of play action. But again, I'd like to see maybe 8 or 9 play action attempts. There may have been more attempts out of play action, or they may have ran play action more where he just didn't throw the ball. So maybe maybe the amount of play action plays I don't have. But out of the attempts that he did throw out of play action, he was 3 out of 5. But it was only for 11 yards. Underneath throws, now these numbers aren't awful. Let's see, 3, 7, 8, 9. He was 6 out of 9 on throws behind or 9 yards and in. And then when you get to the 10 to 19 yard throws, he's 1 for 1, 2, 3, 4. Deep throws, he's 3, 5, 6. He's 1 of 6, which was that Centennial touchdown for 58 yards. It was a touchdown. I really think they need to tighten up the offense. More RPOs and more of a desire. I think one of the things that Petrino and maybe Pittman, let's leave Pittman out of that for just a second here. Bobby needs to have a conversation to him about maybe keeping the ball more and sprinting to the outside. When he gets to the outside, it's terrifying for defenses. And he can run right at the gut too. If there's a little bit of a gap, he can take it. He can run through it. He can run through tackles. Now, he's not quite the abuser KJ Jefferson was, but KJ Jefferson was 6'2", 6'3", and built like a freaking tank. Talon, it's more like I don't know, man. Really tall, fast cat like Matt Jones was. Need to be a little bit more conservative. I don't want to see 30 throws until he can build up a little bit more confidence. I'm not saying he should never do that. I'm not saying that he's been absolutely atrocious when he throws more than 30 times, because he hasn't. Not all the time, but here lately it feels like teams are starting to figure him out. So I would say the adjustment for offense, and maybe this is something they work on in their bye week, because you can't, and I'm not suggesting that they completely change the offense. We know they have these plays in their playbooks because, A, we've seen them in practice a little bit, and then we've seen them execute these on the field. I'm just saying maybe run more of those plays. Let's scrap for now the plays that have him just sitting in the pocket trying to observe and trying to throw an accurate ball. I know he won't, and I know moving forward we're probably going to see more of him just throwing the ball, and hell, he's probably going to throw the ball 35 plus times. Of course, it depends on how that game plays out, but I just really think they need to focus on the run. Get Jackson to help you out. He's an abusive runner. Braylon Russell he's starting to look confident and more explosive. Hill is a fantastic change of pace back. A COPB, baby. You know me. That's what Hill is. He's a change of pace back in that offense behind those two big heavies. Behind even Green running the ball, right? I want to see more of that. That's what has been successful for the most part. Yeah, he can improvise. He can run around and things will unfold and give his receivers a little bit of time, but then it's an accuracy issue. because he's not exactly 100% passing out of the pocket either. But that's if you want to continue throwing the ball downfield, maybe some more bootlegs. Maybe you're moving the pocket. I don't know. I'm not going to tell Bobby Petrino what to do because, we all most of us think very highly of what he is as a offensive mind. He knows all this. I guess it's more of I hope we see this. I hope we see more of what has worked and you trim the fat out of the playbook that hasn't worked. And quite frankly, it's the stuff that has him throwing the ball. I don't want to see right now. I would rather not see him throw the ball 30-something times a game. Maybe tone that down to like 22, 23 and find a way. We know that Bobby, again, another reputation that he had at Louisville, Auburn when he was the OC there, and at Arkansas, he scripted out a lot of his first quarter. And sometimes, listen, you're going to get stuffed and you're going to have to throw the ball, right? I mean, that's just a given. And of course, at that point, you kind of have to adjust on the fly and figure it out, right? That's what the iPads are for. That's what halftime's for. Make your adjustments, figure out where they're weakest at, exploit it. It just feels again like this offense, it doesn't feel like they have a long ways to go because of the success that Jaquindon Jackson that he's had, that Taylon Green has had when he runs the ball. And again, we're starting to see Russell starting to get more confident, man. I really hope he gets the ball more. Really do. I'm excited for Russell. We're starting to see what made him so special through camp, coming out of high school. Uh-oh. I may have too many tabs open here. Let me close some of these tabs out. Holy cow. Appreciate the retweets. What's this that Unbiased Brim tagged me in? What is this? Hugh Freeze on Tiger Talk. I love Sam Pittman, and I hope he wins the rest of his games. But I'm telling you that the hard truth is that if we play them 9 more times, we beat them 9 more times. That's what's hard to take. No, you don't. No, you don't. You looked like shit. You looked like shit, Auburn. Let's take a look at this poll again. Do you trust Green to throw the ball 30-plus times a game right now? 73% of you agree with your boy here. No. No. You can't handle the truth. Taylon is going to get a wide receiver hurt like that. Wait, what? I'm glad Armstrong was able to get back up. Dude, that was a hard hit. We're not giving him enough love. We're not giving Armstrong enough love. I really thought he was going to be knocked out for the game. What a trooper, man. Brooke Hively says, hell no. I don't know what you're saying hell no to, but okay. Shout out to Arkansas Sports Network. We're over there as well. If you don't already, make sure you follow Arkansas Sports Network on Facebook. 30,000 strong over there. They're rocking and rolling on ASN. So shout out to those fine folks. And we appreciate them streaming Tusk Talk with Ty. Bucks. YouTube Studio keeps crashing on me, guys. Hugh Freeze has better credentials than Pittman by far, says Buck. Buck, that's not the argument. Maybe you're having an argument with somebody else in chat, but that's not the argument. The argument is who would win 9 times out of 10 with these two teams going head-to-head. No, Auburn does not win 9 out of 10 of those. Absolutely not. In fact, I would argue Arkansas probably wins 6 or 7 out of 10. I think the thing about Freeze, I think the rest of the field has caught up to him. All that cheating done caught up to him. Everyone else, it's all legal now. DJ Williams said that TG's eyes leads defenders to where the ball is going every time. He stares down receivers. Yeah, there's not – I've noticed lately it doesn't look like he's going through any other read than what's downfield or what's 15 yards downfield. We're not seeing enough underneath checks We're not seeing the stuff underneath. It's just not there. And guess what? That's when Bobby Petrino's offense starts to really click. That's when it starts to really click. When you can spread the ball out, and this is the other thing that's got to be fixed. Armstrong cannot be the only target. He can't be, man. You've got to spread the ball around. Now, to be fair, other receivers got to catch the damn ball. Yeah, it's about absolutely. It's about using your eyes. I agree with that. Bumble's bounce. Been a minute, man. Hope you're doing well. Former Tusk Talk member, too. Russell does need more touches. I agree. Recruit Coach Freeze as U of A head coach. No, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, they have to work on spreading the ball out a little bit. You know, they got to find it can't be Armstrong all the time. It just can't. It won't work. Eventually you're going to run into somebody who's going to be able to contain him. And Armstrong's difficult to contain because that guy's pretty solid. I mean, he makes those physical catches, you know. Taylor Green on the year, he's 65 of 121, 957 yards. This is through the air. 53% pass completion ratio on the year. 4 touchdowns, 4 picks, 9 sacks. Now, and that's the other thing that Sam talked about. We got to give him more protection. He's not wrong. It's not just a TG thing. It's not. It is the offensive line. It's all that stuff we've talked about. But even when he has a clean pocket, he's not throwing the ball well. That has to change. I really hope he's not watching any YouTube stuff. I hope he's staying away from social media. But what I do hope that he's doing is he's listening. He's listening to Petrino. He's soaking it all in. And he's, you know, there's got to be a desire there to get better and find those areas of weakness and work on them, right? Things you got to do in practice. That was stuff I didn't think KJ was doing last year. I kind of thought, I don't know. I just didn't feel like he was very interested in getting better. But again, it wasn't all on him either. That's the difference between this year is you have a coordinator who can get you there. Jaquinton Jackson's having a hell of a year, though, guys. 69 carries, 472 yards, almost 7 yards a carry, 8 touchdowns. Now, you also have to ask yourself, how is he getting those yards? Well, I mean, let's be real. Not only is he just a beast, but it helps when the defenses are concerned about Green's ability as a quarterback to run the ball, really, right? 325 yards for Green on the year, almost 6 yards a carry, 4 touchdowns. Rodney Hill on the year, he's actually doing pretty well too. 14 carries, 71 yards. That's 5.1 yards a carry. Braylon Russell, 13 carries, 47 yards. Now, what's important here, and I know that's just a 3.6 yards per carry average, but those are 2 touchdowns, and I believe both of those were on goal line situations. His numbers are not going to be as sexy because that's what they like to use Braylon Russell for. And the same with Jaquinton, but Jaquinton's going to get the majority of the carries in the game anyways. Arkansas is running the ball at 5.5 yards per carry. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. The run game is the strength. That doesn't mean you can only rely on the run game. That doesn't mean you abandon the passing game entirely. It just means maybe we tone down the throwing a little bit. And what passing options we use are the ones that have been successful. Maybe that's what you do. You trim the fat of your playbook a little bit. But Andrew Armstrong can't be the only option. I mean, my God, through 3 games, 23 grabs, 348 yards. It's kind of crazy to think he doesn't have a touchdown yet. Centennial, it's also kind of crazy. 10 grabs, over 200 yards on just 10 receptions. 21 yards per catch with a touchdown. Broden has a touchdown. Lucas has a touchdown. But Lucas has just 6 catches. He's the only – no, hold on. That's right. Washington does have a catch. Shamar Easter has 1. He has 1 catch. So between your tight ends, that's 9 catches through 4 games to your tight ends, and they're not getting targeted. Someone asked me if it had to do with blocks. I tried to go back and look that up on PFF, how many blocking downs or how many snaps they were blocking on. And at first glance, that's not what I'm seeing. We'd have to go back and watch, and I'm not doing that. Hell, who's going to go back and watch every game? But to my memory, Green is not looking for those underneath throws. And that's where a tight end's going to be. Champions with a $20 super chat. Wow, thanks, man. We're going 9-3, Tusk. He's saying, just listen here. Listen here. We're going 9-3. Wins are going to be UAPB, UAB, Auburn, Tennessee, LSU, A&M, Ole Miss, Texas, Louisiana Tech, and then losses are OK State, Missouri, Mississippi State. I appreciate the super chat, but champions, I think you. I don't know about that one, man. You're gonna beat Tennessee, but you're gonna lose to Mississippi State. You're gonna beat Ole Miss, but you're gonna lose to Mississippi State. I appreciate the super chat. Bumble's bounce has come right back to being a member. Hey, I see you. I see you, brother. I don't know. Turbo X. I'm just going to call you Turbo. YW is suspended. Yeah, we already talked about that. Our Razorback says that's a wild, and I mean wild prediction. That is wild. Hey, man, if you're right, then I don't know. We're just going to have to take a shot in your name, I guess. I don't know. Champ is on the sauce. Boss Hawk says, Tusk, what's with the same wide receiver playing all the time? I understand Armstrong and Santana, but the ones that keep dropping the ball. Oh, so you're talking about Broden. Makes you wonder if they're concerned about their options at wide receiver. I mean, it does. It makes you wonder if they're concerned about their options at wide receiver. I don't know. And again, it's Broden, if he's going to play more or if he's going to get the same amount of snaps, he's not going to get as many targets. That much is for sure. Do you trust Green to throw the ball 30-plus times a game? 74% of you, well, the number's going up and down. 73% of you say no. I want to know, if you voted yes, don't be ashamed. Chat, don't jump on them, okay? If you voted yes, I want you to tell me why you voted yes. Say, yes, Ty, I do. Here's why. I would love to know what your thinking is on this, really. And I'm not trying to be a smart ass. I'm not, nothing like that. I want to know. Because I'm just not seeing it. Maybe I'm missing something. We've kind of pointed out the other stuff. So if you voted yes, and I probably should have started with that, but he skipped multiple practices, says Nelly for Davis, talking about Dubinion. And this is a good take. Mike always has these. Mike and them always has just right on the nose. TG needs to pass just enough to keep the defense honest. There it is. However many times a game that is, I don't know. But there you go. That's it. Back the secondary off. Get the safeties out of the box. Have their nickel, well, whatever they're doing on defense, be more concerned about, their area of the field backed off the line of scrimmage. Just enough. Now, that's going to be hard to do when you're running the ball more. That's going to be really hard to do, but I agree with that, Mike. That's a very good take. Again, if you voted yes, I just want to know why. Like what? And I'm not trying to be a smart ass at all. That's an honest question, Ty. Wait, which part? You know what would be really cool is if YouTube would timestamp when you guys make your comments, because I think sometimes there's like a delay. I mean, I know there is between me and you guys. So trying to go back and read these questions. He's too inconsistent, doesn't pick up blitzes, and yeah, it's some of the blitzes, and that's why I say it's not as simple. And this was, I hear what Pigpen was saying earlier. It's not as simple though as just the offensive line missing the blitz. Sometimes that is on the quarterback, the center, and I can tell you this: played it all the way from 7th grade all the way to sixth grade flag football, all the way up to my junior year of high school football. It's on. It could be on the center to identify the blitz, but it's typical, or wherever the pressure's coming from. If it's in front of you, if it's at the nose, which is head on to the center, or if it's a D tackle, which is in the gaps, it's on you to know kind of what you're dealing with. And sometimes there's got to be communication between you and your guards. However, the quarterback has to identify the mic. He's got to see where the pressure's coming from and slide protection one way or another. And maybe he is missing those. Maybe it's not always on the offensive line. That's a very fair point. I voted yes because he's a roller coaster to watch, but makes big plays. I'll take the occasional turnover. Okay, see, this is why I asked. And when we win, be first in line to get on the right again. That's all I'm asking. I think that's fair. Because it is a roller coaster ride. You're not really sure what you're going to get when he throws that ball. And I want to be clear too. I'm not off the bandwagon. Green's athleticism is exciting for me, and this is something I'm struggling with. We haven't talked about my talent tier in a while, but I have a certain amount of levels of talent. Okay, there are depth chart fillers, which are guys that are going to always be 3rd and 2nd string. I'm not going to name names. I know. There's some family members. I don't want to offend anybody, right? I don't want to get it all up in anyone's. If someone plays bad, I'll call it out, but I don't want to say, hey, your son is this or that, or your nephew is this or that. I don't want to say that. But there are just depth chart guys. They're going to be 3rd string, maybe an occasional 2nd string. They're going to be rotators, and maybe not even that. Then you have your starters, just contributor status, really. It's a contributor. And then maybe there's kind of a different tier there. And then there's playmakers. Playmakers would be like Joe Adams with that punt return against Tennessee that puts a giant freaking smile on all of our faces. That's a playmaker right there, son. He could do it on offense, too. Would have been a hell of a corner, too, by the way. Was committed to USC to play corner, but Arkansas was able to switch him over as a wide receiver and commit to Arkansas and sign to Arkansas and have a great career here. DJ Williams was a playmaker. And then you have your difference makers. These are guys that are likely top 2-round draft picks, depending. Sometimes you get guys that get drafted high just because of their potential, but a difference maker when you see one. Matt Jones, Darren McFadden, trying to think. Ryan Mallett with that arm. I mean, in that offense, complete difference maker. Tyler Wilson might be there. I don't know. Brandon Allen's senior year has got to be considered at least a high-level playmaker, right? I am Prue. All right. Yeah. We'll we'll be seeing you around. What a gross name. I voted yes because the more Mallett threw in Bobby's offense, the more comfortable he was. And that's – I mean, Kerper, my only issue with that is Green does not have that Mallett level. Like, Mallett's ability to throw the ball deep and the ball placement on throws 20-plus yards is pretty impressive. It spoke to his arm strength and overall arm talent. Green, as far as I could tell, doesn't have that. But I hear what you're saying. He's gone. Yeah, the mods are not here, so I had to time him out. That's gross. That is gross. We're going to put an end to that poll. But again, I appreciate everyone who took it. A lot of votes. So the final numbers Do you trust Green to throw the ball 30-plus times a game right now? And 72% of you said no. I agree with the 72%. However, some of the arguments made in chat, I get it. You've got some points there. DJ and Grant Cook had a good breakdown on Arkansas's offense. Basically, nothing installed yet. But it's the base offense. They think nothing's been installed after playing Oklahoma State and Auburn? I mean, those are guys DJ would definitely know, but if that's the case, why are you playing with a skeleton offense against ranked opponents or against Oklahoma State? And then Auburn certainly pushed you a little bit. I mean, I never thought, especially coming out of that first quarter, even though not a lot happened, I never really thought, I don't know, it wasn't like you were overwhelmingly terrified of Auburn, but the point I'm making is there was a threat there. You would think the offense has got to be, maybe you read that wrong, Turbo. Nothing is installed. I mean, that's Chad Morris level of, I don't know about that. Megan says she voted yes. Here we go. Because I think the wide receivers will get actual catches, and I think they will do more shorter passes, more rollouts, and just getting comfortable with the playbook. Okay. All right. It could be that. It could be just getting comfortable. Maybe Green will be on Mallett's level. Yeah, okay. And see, here's the thing. This is what I'm getting to. Warfare Jordan says maybe Green will get on Mallett's level after 1 year in the SEC. Maybe not. We'll find out. That's what I was speaking to earlier. It takes a couple of years in this offense to get there. Now, based on what I've seen, I don't think Taylon Green I don't think he has the overall arm talent as a Ryan Mallett. I don't think he has the ball placement of a Tyler Wilson, but he's got athleticism that neither of those two ever possessed, and he's got the ability to extend the play. Now, he's got a pretty damn strong arm, but having a strong arm, there's a difference in having a strong arm and just overall arm talent, right? Which is, knowing where to put the ball. It's ball placement. It's timing with the receivers. They call it arm talent, but it's a little more complex than just what comes from the release. It's the timing of the throw, or it's the quickness of the release. It's all that stuff. I don't think he's there on Mallett's level. In fact, I would say he's not on Green on Wilson or Allen. Allen was a really good, just a great operator of an offense. Pretty good arm talent. Not great, but pretty good. But in my opinion, the two greatest arms that I've seen at Arkansas, and when you combine it with just their ability to make the throws, it's Tyler Wilson and Ryan Mallett. Maybe he'll get to like that Brandon Allen level, right, with his arm. He's got a stronger arm than Allen. Allen didn't have a strong arm. The deal with Green is no matter how erratic his throwing, he is an X factor, and that is true, and gives you the best chance to win the game. He is the reason we will be in every game. I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more, which is why I don't think right now there's any kind of a real battle here. Now, I'm going to repeat myself. I'm going to say this again, but as the season unfolds and you get some more SEC games under your belt and the passing game continues on this decline and you're turning the ball over 2-3 times a game, whether it's picks or fumbles, we might be having a different conversation about what's going on with QB2 if he's going to get the nod eventually. But right now, and really, even if he has a rough game against A&M, I don't think there's a quarterback battle. But you know how this goes. Anything could change. Anything can happen. Mallett came from the Big Ten as a junior, I do believe. No, so he was a freshman, and Michigan's coach at the time got fired. Bobby had just taken the job at Arkansas, and he transferred here. Of course, he's originally from Lincoln, Arkansas. He was. Rest in peace. He played down in Texarkana. I think he was a unanimous 5-star in high school. Fantastic quarterback. I can remember a friend of mine who kept up with recruiting a lot more than I did at the time said that what they're saying on the radio and on the message boards is he's already got an NFL arm, and I thought, no way in hell. And then I watched him play, And it was like, holy shit. But yeah, he was what was he by the time he was eligible? Sophomore? Was he a sophomore or a redshirt freshman? I think he was a sophomore. He does panic. I do agree with that. Yeah. The best quarterback in modern Hog history for sure. I think so. Yeah, I'd say it would be Mallett, then Wilson. Boy, y'all don't want to have that discussion about KJ. I mean, listen, man, in that Kendall Briles veer and shoot offense, dude, I mean, he broke some records. I mean, he was good. Of course, he actually broke the records, and he was a starting quarterback for a minute. It's not like he had just 1 year to do all that. He had multiple years, and then last year tipped him over, right, because he was so close to the record. So after Kendall Briles left and you have Dan Enos, then KJ breaks some of those records. But you think about how he got there in that veer and shoot, I don't know, man. I mean, I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was a really good quarterback. I don't know where I would put KJ. We had that poll last year. Where would you put KJ Jefferson as far as the great, like in that conversation? Would you have him in the top 10? Would you have him out of the top 10? Would you have him in the top 5? That's a I don't even want to get into that because it's just such a it's a topic that can be very toxic because there's some very strong opinions, both pro and negative, for KJ Jefferson. Joe Cool says Mallett, Wilson, Brandon Allen, KJ. I mean, I like that. I don't disagree with that. I would put, if we're talking passers, yeah. Now, if we're just talking about dynamic at the quarterback position and doing what he was asked to be told, Matt Jones is certainly up there for me, at least in the top 2, top 3. I mean, you talk about putting an underachieving roster, not exactly loaded down with top-tier talent. You talk about putting it on your shoulders and winning ball games and doing things he had no business doing. It's not like they had a ton of success with him here, but you could not stop that cat out of the option. It was just talking about what he's supposed to do in that offense. As a passer, no, he's not even in that category, 100%. I'd put KJ in the trash can. Oh, man. See, this is why I don't even know why we brought this up. Oh, my God. I'd put KJ in the trash can. Records or not, he quit. Without Briles Burks, there would be no KJ. Overrated, overpaid. You do know that his numbers were pretty identical the year after he lost Treylon Burks, though, right? I mean, I agree with you about the Kendall Briles part. I think in any other offense, I don't think I would take him. I damn sure wouldn't take him to run this offense. I wouldn't. All right, that's going to do it. Shout out to Patreon supporters. Agree or disagree, be civil. You guys know how we do here. Like, share, and subscribe on your way out. Shout out to the sponsors. Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than best results. 501-244-3667. Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, whatever. They've got your back. Give them a call. Insurance Max, offering business, personal, life, and health insurance, retirement. They shop the best rates for you. Covering the state corner to corner. Why not click the link and see what Insurance Max can do for you? I wonder what Green's legacy will be by the time he leaves Arkansas. Is anyone else curious about that? I'm very curious. Because there was a time, Matt Jones' first couple of years, we didn't know what to make of what that guy was or what he wasn't. And looking back on it, he was just nothing short of incredible, in my opinion. I've been to a lot of football games, watched a lot of great players come and go at Arkansas, in person, on television, met some of them. Not that that matters. But I'd never seen anything like a Matt Jones. There's not very many quarterbacks who rarely, if ever, lined up at wide receiver in college goes to the combine. It's not just the combine. It's definitely what he did as a Razorback. But just speaking of what kind of athlete he was, to show up to the NFL combine as big as he was and drop a 4.3, I think it was 4.38, 4.37, whatever, 40. You know, what could have been? What could have been in the NFL? All right. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, Patreon supporters. You mean a lot to me, and I mean that. You help keep this ship afloat. Because without you and without sponsors and the little bit of ad revenue I get from YouTube, I'd be pushing carts down at the Sam's Club all over again. So, not really, but you never know. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys maybe on Wednesday, and it may be Thursday. Just make sure you hit the notification bell and make sure you're a subscriber. I will see you guys later.